Hi everyone, it's Mitch. It's Thursday, October 16th, and we have college football tonight. Um, I'm excited, you can tell. I'm also excited about my game picking contest. It's not going to start with this weekend's games. It's going to start with next weekend's games, and I'll probably be, I'll talk about it a little more in the newsletter this week. There's some information on it on the blog, and then also next Tuesday when I mail out all the picks and the games and all that good stuff. The rules will all be in there as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of people signed up. I'm not sure how many are going to participate in the contest, but I'm sure it'll be a growing number every week. And like I said, it's all free, and the prize is going to be a gift certificate for one of my sponsors. So I have a bunch of them, and more than likely, I'll be like Foot Locker or something like that everyone can use, or American Express. In any event, let's get on to tonight's games. We have two games tonight in college football, and we're just going to see some pretty decent teams. In the first game, we have Florida State taking on NC State at NC State, laying 11 points. NC State has covered every single time against Florida State since 2000. I'll come out and say that. Once there was a push, it depends on where you got in on that game. It was maybe about 4 years ago. There was a push, but NC State has covered every single time. What you have to remember, though, is that the Knowles in most of those games have been laying points, a lot of points, and even more than what they're laying tonight, which is 11 points on the road, which is a pretty fair amount. I think the 11 points is fair. I think the line should maybe even be a little higher. I'm not convinced on Tom O'Brien. He wasn't a very good coach covering the spread at Boston College. I know he got a lot of credit there. A lot of people thought he was a great coach. I wasn't one of those people. I thought he was the type of coach that couldn't cover a spread, that didn't know how to close the deal. And, you know, I don't think he has the talent level at NC State to compete with the track stars that Bobby Bowden has at Florida State. Florida State's been down for a couple of years. They only have one loss this year, and that was that game against Wake Forest. There's really not a lot of shame in that. They've played well. They're a very young team. They've played the most amount of freshmen of any team in the country outside of Miami. So, those guys are just gaining more and more experience every week. Christian Ponder seems to be the best quarterback they've had since Wenke. He doesn't throw, he's a runner. But he has plenty of targets when he does need to throw, and those are some of the best receivers in the country. You can say what you want about Florida State's program, but if you look in the NFL these days, they got plenty of wide receivers there and plenty of other players. So there's a lot of talent there. I don't see the same level of talent at NC State, and I look for the Noles to cover and to do it pretty easily. And we're going to see some really big plays out of the Florida State offense, is my guess. We're going to see some of those long runs. In the other game, what most people consider the big game, that's Brigham Young and going to TCU to take on the Horned Frogs. When I originally saw this game on the schedule, I figured BYU is, their favorite in this one. They're probably going to win, and it's not going to be much of a problem for them. TCU is a good team. It seems like whenever they step it up to that next level of competition, they don't seem to do that well. I still feel the same way. Brigham Young, though, is now getting points. They opened as a 2-point favorite. They're now getting about a point and a half, 2 points, depending on where you see it. I'm going to call it at a point and a half, and it doesn't even matter because I don't think they're going to need it. I think Brigham Young wins this game outright. I think TCU is a very good team. I think when they step it up to the next level of competition, that they have disastrous results. They got waxed by Oklahoma this year. They were beaten pretty badly by Texas last year. I'm not calling BYU a Texas or an Oklahoma, but what I'm saying is that they're a very large team. They have a lot of large players, NFL size, NFL caliber, and NFL drafted if you follow those sort of things. And TCU has some nice players. They have a great run defense. They're not playing against a running team this week. They're playing against Max Hall, a guy who throws the ball all over the field. BYU getting points. I'm saying an outright victory, and I personally have BYU on the money line. For the sake of our picks, we don't normally do that, so we're gonna say BYU in the point and a half, or 1 or 2 or whatever. It doesn't really matter because I really like them to win outright, and I think they do it pretty easily and pretty decisively. So in any event, this is Mitch. I look forward to talking more about college football. We got another game tomorrow night and the full slate on Saturday. And thanks for joining me.